This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with my weekly review of the points I find interesting in Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer newsletter. Just so you guys know, there was supposed to be an AEW wrestler interview earlier today, but there was some type of scheduling conflict and they did not make it. However, I will be covering the AEW Collision taping in Ottawa tomorrow with Jack Kilby. So expect a lot of streams from that event. Actually looking forward to it. So let's jump into the news. WWE SmackDown in Dallas with The Rock was a sellout, over 14,000 fans. Raw in Houston was a sellout, nearly 13,000 fans. Triple H picked all the Hall of Fame inductees this year: Bull Nakano, Barry Windham, Mike Rotunda, Muhammad Ali, Thunderbolt Patterson, and Leah Maivia. Bull Nakano only had about 10-ish TV or pay-per-view matches with WWE, according to Meltzer. The induction ceremony is going to air after the SmackDown tapings on April the 5th. That was a long TV show last year. I watched the SmackDown in the Hall of Fame, and it just dragged on and on and on. It'd be better if it was more separate. This year's SummerSlam is going to be at Cleveland Browns Arena, August the 3rd. It'll be the second time SummerSlam was at Cleveland. Of course, the Vader-Shawn Michaels match in '96 was the first one at the Gund Arena. Last year, they had over 51,000 fans at Ford Field in Detroit. The last wrestling stadium show in Cleveland was not my good friend, but my old friend who's passed away now, Johnny Powers, promoted a World Series of Wrestling show there in 1972 that featured 3 matches going on at once. Dwayne Johnson starts filming The Smashing Machine, Mark Kerr's biography, on May the 1st. Mercedes Moné Sasha Banks debuted in AEW March 13th in Boston. About 7,000 fans were there. Did a 0.27 rating. She had been negotiating with WWE last year and this year, but she wanted too much money. Supposedly, she's making similar to what Okada is making, somewhere between 4 and 5 million a year. AEW is in Ottawa tomorrow, right here. 2,600 pre-sold tickets. Dynamite in Toronto, almost 5,000 sold. Dynamite in Quebec City, just over 2,000. Collision in London, Ontario, over 3,000. That'll be the first TV taping in London in years. The AEW Collision tapings in Duluth, Georgia had 2,565 tapings last week. TNA is doing a Rebellion pay-per-view next month, featuring Nick Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler, headlining against Moose. Nemeth has been losing pretty much all his indie matches that I've been reading up on. So, I mean, I know he had a big successful run in WWE overall before the last few years, but it's hard to take him seriously as a world title challenger, considering he's been jobbing like he jobbed in Puerto Rico. I haven't seen any indie shows where he's won anything. Mark Coleman, as I've reported, saved his parents from a fire last week. His dog, who had alerted them of the fire, unfortunately passed away. He is recovering now, thank God. I guess the smoke detector must not have been working, is all I can figure. Dana White is claiming that Power Slap is valued at about $650 million. Is there going to be a Rick Martel interview this year? Maybe. I hope so. The ball is in the model's court. I'd like to buy some of that arrogance off of him.